Ever wondered how to strike a perfect balance between work, life, and college? Well, you're not alone. Each day, millions of us wake up to this very struggle, the struggle for balance, and it's no walk in the park. Picture this. You've just clocked out from a grueling day at work. You're exhausted, but there's no time to rest. You've got a pile of college assignments looming over you, waiting for your attention. And somewhere in the midst of all this chaos, you're supposed to carve out time for a life outside of work and school. Sounds familiar? In the grand circus of life, we're all jugglers. We juggle our jobs, our studies, our relationships, and our passions. But more often than not, it feels like we're just one slip away from dropping the ball. And when that happens, the stress can be overwhelming. It's like a heavy weight pressing down on our chests, a constant reminder of the balance we're struggling to maintain. But it's not just the stress, it's the guilt too. The guilt of feeling like you're constantly falling short in one area or another. Perhaps you're acing your college courses, but your job performance is slipping. Or maybe you're climbing the corporate ladder, but your personal life is gathering dust. It's a constant game of tug-of-war, and it feels like you're always on the losing side. And then there's the longing. The longing for a life where balance isn't a daily battle, but a harmonious rhythm. A life where you're not just surviving, but thriving. A life where you can lay your head down at night, knowing you've given your all to your work, your studies, and your passions, without sacrificing your well-being. Yes, the struggle for balance is real. It's a complex dance that we're all trying to master. But what if there's a way to not just survive this dance, but truly shine? What if there's a way to juggle it all without dropping the ball? What if there's a way to balance work, life, and college, and at the end of the day, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am making myself so proud. But what if I told you there's a way to balance it all and be proud of yourself? Let's introduce you to Alex, a person just like you and me, who managed to find that elusive balance. Alex's story is not unusual. He's a 20-something-year-old juggling the responsibilities of work, college, and personal life. He's a software engineer by day, a part-time MBA student by night, and a loving son and friend in the hours in between. His days are packed, his nights are short, and his weekends are a blur of study sessions and overdue work projects. His journey began when he landed his first job right out of undergrad. He was thrilled, ready to take on the world. But the reality of the professional world struck him hard. Deadlines, meetings, presentations, and the constant pressure to perform left him feeling drained. He felt like a hamster on a wheel, always running but never truly getting anywhere. But Alex had ambitions. He dreamt of climbing the corporate ladder, of making a difference in his field. So, he decided to pursue an MBA. He believed it would open doors for him, give him the knowledge and skills he needed to excel. But juggling work and college proved to be a Herculean task. His days became even longer, his free time dwindled to almost nothing. Amidst it all, he felt his personal life slipping away. He missed dinners with his family, couldn't make time for his friends, and his hobbies were gathering dust. He was living his life on autopilot, his dreams overshadowed by exhaustion. There were moments, many moments, when Alex felt overwhelmed. The balancing act seemed impossible. He felt like he was failing in every aspect of his life. His work, his studies, his relationships. He questioned his choices, his ability to manage it all. But then, something within him stirred. He realized he had a choice. He could continue down this path of stress and exhaustion, or he could take control. He could set boundaries, prioritize, and create a life that was fulfilling, not just busy. He could make himself proud. But Alex didn't give up. He decided to take control and make himself proud. The turning point came when Alex decided to rewrite his story. You see, Alex found himself caught in a whirlwind of obligations and responsibilities, but he realized he was the author of his own narrative. He could choose to be overwhelmed, or he could choose to take charge. And so Alex made a decision to plan, prioritize, and manage his time effectively. He started small, setting aside specific times for work, rest, and recreation. He realized the importance of compartmentalizing, of not allowing one aspect of his life to encroach upon the others. His work was important, yes, but so was his personal life and his studies. By creating distinct boundaries between these areas, he was able to give each the attention they deserved without compromising the others. Alex also understood that balance didn't mean equality. It wasn't about dedicating the same amount of time to each aspect of his life, but rather about investing the right amount of energy where it was needed most. Some days his job demanded more of his attention. Other times his focus shifted to his studies or personal relationships. The key was flexibility. But beyond time management, Alex committed himself to personal growth and self-improvement. He sought to learn from each experience, each success, and each setback. He recognized that growth isn't linear. It involves trial and error, learning and unlearning. But with each step forward, He was becoming a better version of himself, one that could handle the demands of his life with grace and resilience. And amidst all this, Alex learned to say no when he needed to. He understood that he couldn't do everything and that it was okay. Setting boundaries, after all, is an act of self-care. Yes, the journey to finding balance is a tough one, filled with challenges and obstacles. And Alex was just at the beginning of his, but with every step, every decision, every boundary set, he was making progress. He was building a life that not only met his needs, but also fulfilled his aspirations. Alex was on his way to finding balance, but the journey wasn't easy. With determination and consistency, Alex began to see changes. The journey of balance is not a sprint, but a marathon. And in the marathon of life, Alex was finding his pace. His efforts were starting to pay off in more ways than he had imagined. At work, he was more efficient. Gone were the days of scrambling to meet deadlines. He was now ahead of the game, managing his tasks with a newfound sense of control. His colleagues noticed the change, the spark in his eyes, the spring in his step. Alex was no longer just surviving at work. He was thriving. In academia, his performance skyrocketed. The once daunting coursework now seemed manageable. He was not just reading to pass, but to understand, to explore, to learn. His grades were a testament to his hard work, but they were not the only measure of his success. He was engaging in class discussions, contributing to projects, and leading research initiatives. He was not just a part of the academic community, he was making a difference. And then there was his personal life. Once a battlefield of neglected hobbies and unattended relationships, it was now flourishing. He was finding time to do the things he loved, playing the guitar, reading books, going for morning runs. He was reconnecting with old friends, spending quality time with family, and even making new connections. He was not just living his life, he was enjoying it. All these improvements did not come overnight. They were the result of countless hours of planning, prioritizing, and persevering. Alex had to make tough decisions, had to learn to say no, had to make sacrifices. But every step of the way, he was guided by his commitment to finding balance. And so, he did. Alex did not just balance his work, his studies, and his personal life. He found a rhythm, a harmony, a synergy. He transformed his life from a juggling act into a well-orchestrated symphony. Alex was not just balancing his life, he was thriving. The result of Alex's journey? He made himself proud. Alex, our everyman hero, had embarked on a journey of self-improvement and balance. A journey that required grit, determination, and a significant amount of courage. It was a difficult path, but the destination was worth every step. As Alex began to see the fruits of his labor, a profound sense of accomplishment washed over him. He had managed to strike a balance between work, life, and college. The scales that once heavily tipped towards stress and burnout were now evenly distributed. Each area of his life was receiving its due attention, and it showed. The satisfaction of seeing his life in harmony was a reward in itself. But there was more. The positive impacts of this balance were noticeable. His mental health improved significantly. The constant stress and anxiety that used to cloud his mind had dissipated. Instead, calmness and clarity took their place. There was a newfound joy in his day-to-day activities. He was no longer just going through the motions, he was truly living. The benefits extended to his relationships as well. With a better handle on his time and energy, he was able to invest more in the people he cared about. His relationships thrived as he became more present and engaged. He wasn't just a better student or employee. He became a better son, a better friend, a better partner. The overall quality of his life improved dramatically. He was healthier, happier, and more fulfilled. He had transformed his life on his own terms. He had set out to make himself proud, and he did just that. He was proud of the person he had become, proud of the life he had built. But more than anything, he was proud of the journey he had undertaken. The journey of self-improvement and balance. The journey that showed him that he was capable of more than he ever thought possible. Alex's story serves as an inspiration for all of us. It shows that with determination and courage, we can make ourselves proud. We can find balance, improve our lives, and become the best versions of ourselves. So, what can we learn from Alex's journey? First and foremost, we've seen that the struggle for balance, be it in work, life, or college, is a universal truth. We've all been there, juggling multiple responsibilities, feeling like we're walking a tightrope, trying not to let anyone's sphere of our life get the better of us. Alex's story reminds us that it's okay to struggle, it's okay to falter. What matters is that we don't give up. Secondly, we discovered the turning point, that moment of realization where Alex understood that change was necessary. This is a crucial step in our journey towards balance. We must acknowledge the need for change, for it's only then that we can begin to take steps towards it. It's about recognizing that something's got to give and being brave enough to make that change. Then we watched as Alex found his balance. It was not an overnight transformation. It was a process, a series of small adjustments and reassessments. It was about setting boundaries, prioritizing, and learning to say no. It was about understanding that balance doesn't mean doing everything, but doing the right things at the right time. Balance, as we've seen, is not a destination, but a journey of continuous adjustment. And finally, we saw the result of making oneself proud. Alex didn't need external validation or applause. His pride came from within, from the satisfaction of having achieved a healthy balance in his life. This is perhaps the most empowering takeaway from Alex's journey. You don't need to be the best in everything. You just need to be the best version of yourself. And that in itself is an achievement to be proud of. So there you have it, the key lessons from Alex's journey. Struggle, acknowledge, adjust, and take pride. Remember, these steps are not a one-time process, but a continuous cycle that we must revisit from time to time. Remember, the key to balance is within you. Start today and make yourself proud.